Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Mr. Almighty Lewis back at you with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about why value is an illusion. Woo! Alright, so if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe down below and hit the notification icon. And if you're watching this on Instagram, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. There will be a link in my bio. So let's go ahead and get started. So, value is an illusion. It does not exist as you are led to believe. So perhaps you've heard people talk about like you have to be high value. If not, like nobody's gonna like you or something, or like being low value is it's not good, and you should always aim to be high value because high value people are the ones who get all the good stuff, right? They get the good life. As a guy, you get all the girls, you get all the money, and that's pretty much like the stereotype of being a high value person, right? Perfectly fine. Yeah, for sure. Until you really start digging deep and you start to realize that, it's not really that they're high value. It's just that what they're doing is what is technically considered high value. That's sort of like the how do you call it, the label that's been given to the characteristics of somebody who is able to go out there and get those things. They're able to get the wealth, they're able to get the health, they're able to just get the good life in general. So here's the thing to understand about value, and that value is really an illusion. It doesn't really exist. If you really think about it, very seriously and deeply, and you really think about it, I really mean like you really think about it, because you might have heard this a lot of times, and so it might be a little bit hard to comprehend. I understand, but you see, value. What is value? Value is pretty much like what something is worth, right? Or in this case, if it's a person, then how much is that person worth, as a person? So you're already putting a label of how much something is worth, or how much a person is worth. Now, for a thing, of course, we're judging the value based on like whoever created, whoever manufactured that specific item, or talking about a materialistic thing. However, that's really the value it gets. Based on how much time was spent on manufacturing the thing and how much thought was put into it. So the more complex the thing is, the more value it's gonna have, because more time went into it, more resources went into it, and the person making it, obviously, if they must have a particular skill in order to be able to craft whatever thing that they made. And then as far as a person goes, well, usually their value is high when they're educated, they've got wealth, they've got resources, they've got all these things to their disposition, right? But the thing is that at the end of the day, you can't really put a price, you can't really put worth on time, on somebody's skill. That's really something that we as humans, we sort of made up. If you really think about it, really, because, really give this some thought. Like, really, like, where does that even come from? Like, there's just no book out there that was written by, somebody like outside of Earth. Everything that you've studied, everything that you've learned, it's all written by humans. We all created all this stuff. Everything from the value, the perceived value that we have, everything really along those lines of value. And really, like, at the end of the day, if you really think about it, like I said, all this value, it's set by somebody, by a person behind a company. They're setting the value of whatever, they're selling their product, and they're putting a price on it, or a service, and they're putting a price on it. And that price is whatever the value is. That's the value of the particular item or the service. And so if you really think about it, like, it's not real, because the person over there is the one who's coming up with that. And the thing is that this concept also applies to people. And that's where, I really want to focus on right now is people, because a lot of people, you may be one of these people who walks around in the world and you think you're low value. You think you have no worth. Maybe thinking that, hey, you know what, I haven't really accomplished anything in my life. I don't have what I want in life. Then I must not have value, because people who have high value have all those things. They have the good life. They have the job that they want, and they have everything that pretty much everything they want. But the truth is no, because that's really just a label. That is a label. And the thing is that value in of itself is neutral. It really is. At the end of the day, everybody has the same amount of value. Everybody's human. Everybody's vulnerable to the same stuff, really. Like, we're all humans. And we each have value. All of us have value. If you really think about it, even in this world here, everything runs through a system. Without those systems, nothing would work. So, to say that the CEO of a company has more value than the janitor at that same company, it's not okay. Because that janitor right there, he brings a lot of value to that company since he's keeping that company clean. All right, without that janitor, that company would be a mess. It would look dirty. Trash would be everywhere. The floors would be nasty and they would smell bad. The restrooms, restrooms would be a nightmare. It would be like a haunted house in there or something. So, like, you gotta really think about it. Like, being a janitor is actually kind of cool. They've got a lot of value. And there's no reason why you should depreciate someone like the janitor. But of course, because we've put this label on people and said, hey, you know what? CEOs have more value than a janitor. Just because, CEOs they're in charge of this big company, they run it, and because they're doing more complex things as opposed to the janitor who may be doing simple things. And because of that, he's by definition low value. But that's not true. And so here's what you gotta really think about. The value is really on the skill that you have, what you can do. That's really where the value is coming from. It's not really you. All right, so when you hear somebody call you low value or high value, they're not really talking about you. What they're really talking about is the value you have to really the market. And what that means is really the value that you have to companies, the value that you have to pretty much companies. Yeah, really. So that's pretty much what that value really means. So the more you actually know how to do, and the more like the more complex things you know how to do, the more valuable you become to the market, because at that point, you can charge a whole lot more for, your skill, whatever it is that you're able to do. And then the less that you're able to do, well then the lower your value is to the market, because then you can't perform very complex things because you just don't have the skill to do it. But that's really what it comes down to. It's really about market value. It's not really about your value as a person. So anytime you hear these things, being said around that, you have to be high value, or somebody tells you that you're low value just because you don't have your life together just yet, or you're working in a job where, that job is perceived as, low value in the market. Don't take this personal, and don't think of yourself as a low value person, because at the end of the day, these are just labels. These are labels put by people no different than you, because we're all humans, like I said, and we're all vulnerable to the same things. And the thing is that some people, people who created that market value, they didn't really consider what they were doing, and so a lot of people, a lot of individuals out there are confused because of this. They think that when these CEOs, are called high value, that they're high value like as a person. And the thing is that no, they're not. you'd be amazed at how nice those people are actually. You know, some people think that those people are evil. You know, the CEOs are evil because they're high value. You may be thinking that you're low value and that there's sort of like this, there's this separation between the two. And sure, there's a separation between the two when it comes to the market value because that CEO is doing, more complex things up there than you are down here. But at the end of the day, you and that CEO can come together and bond because you guys are human beings at the end of the day. If you take away both of you guys' skills, if both of your skills were taken away from you, then you would match. Because like I said, the value of the two of you is already neutral. This whole value thing is just a layer that's put on top of that. It's put on top of your personality, so it's like slapped onto you. It's like this like shield that you gotta walk around with. But you see, you drop that shield and everybody's pretty much the same. You take down the company that CEO is working for. Take away his skills. You go to the janitor. You take away the company he's working for. You take away his skills as a janitor. At the end of the day, you're both an empty slate, a clean slate. My bad. You're both a clean slate, and so by definition, you guys are both pretty much same value. You guys are both human, and you both have potential. And if you're watching this video, if you made it to the end, then you should realize that you've got a lot of value. You've got a lot of potential. And yes, if you go off the judgment, the perception, the label of the market, then sure, you're gonna be considering yourself low value. But the thing is that you're not. You're not low value. You have value, and that person has value, and all value is neutral. So don't get sucked into the whole, there's high value and there's low value. No, there's just people who are just more skilled than you are, and that's really what you should work on. Pretty much, work on getting some skills. If you want to get whatever it is that you want, don't focus on becoming high value. That's just like, it's pointless. That's not something to aspire to. Aspire to make whatever it is that you want to make an impact. So, if you don't aspire to be high value, let's just say in this case, maybe you aspire to be a CEO of a company, or maybe the owner. You want to aspire to be the owner. Then go in that direction. Where you want to be the owner of the company. So get the necessary skills in order to become the owner of the company. Don't be out there, trying to make somebody else make you feel better and trying to trick yourself into thinking that you're high value, because that's just like, it's a waste of time. You don't really need that. You already have value. What you need are skills. Yeah, if you want to get to where that other person is, then what you need are skills. You don't need to be pursuing high value and all this stuff. Like, value is an illusion, like I said. It's an illusion made up by the market just to pretty much glorify the people who have a lot of skills and then depreciate the people who don't have those skills. But at the end of the day, everyone's even everyone's equal, and everyone has the same amount of potential. You just have to come into awareness of it, because most of those people who are up there, they've gained awareness early on. And because they gained that awareness, they were able to take those steps in order to get where they are. You perhaps are watching this video, and perhaps you don't have the necessary awareness just yet to get to that point. But once you do, you'll be up there just like that person. There's no magic pill to get there. What you really need is the awareness of like, hey, you know what? Oh shit, like, it's possible. I can actually get there. There's a series of steps to follow. I follow them, and my chances of getting there just went from 10% to 90%. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you guys did, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification icon down below. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.